time, but also on maintaining their constant flow from the factories. The gathering of delegates for the first Imperial Conference to be held during this war augurs well not only for the victorious prosecution of the war, but also for the future of the Commonwealth. Mr. Peter Fraser, New Zealand's Premier, was welcomed by Mr. Jordan, High Commissioner, after a 12,000-mile flight.
I am here to consult with Mr. Churchill and the Prime Ministers of the other Dominions in an effort to still further improve our war work.
The Canadian Premier, Mr. Mackenzie King, was met by Mr. Massey. At the age of nearly 70, Mr. King is in his 18th year of government leadership. He appeared very fit and eager for the conference.
We've had a delightful voyage across the Atlantic. It's been a splendid journey. We're looking forward with the deepest interest, as those of us, my little party, to sharing in the coming conference of Premiers of the Commonwealth, meeting the Prime Minister of Britain again and his colleagues, and we're spending a short time in this island. I bring to you again, may I say, the heartfelt, warmest greetings of the Canadian people.
Thank you very much. Field Marshal Smuts is perhaps the most familiar figure among Empire statesmen in view of his previous visits to Britain at war. At 74, his vigor and clear-sightedness will surely prove invaluable assets.
I'm quite happy to be here this morning after a very pleasant flight. Useful talks on the way. It's beautiful to arrive on such a May morning in England. I hope that our conferences, to which we are looking forward, will be useful in the great cause which we all have at heart.
Sir Godfrey Huggins, Premier of Southern Rhodesia, arrived with the South African leader. He was obviously confident of the Empire's future.
I'm looking forward to the forthcoming conferences, because there's no doubt that if the old country really cooperates with our Commonwealth and Empire, we can do anything we like and we needn't worry particularly about anybody else.
Finally, Mr. Curtin, Australia's Labour Prime Minister, who was met by the High Commissioner, Mr. Bruce. Mr. Curtin was resolved to make it clear that his countrymen will not forget the part played by the United Kingdom in those dark days after the fall of France.
Well, I'm very, very glad to be here. The first thing I would like to say is to express the unbounded admiration and gratitude of the people of Australia to the people of Britain for having stood alone as the rampart of civilization and held the fort. That is about the most unforgettable part in the proud story of this land. We Australians are grateful because not only holding the fort meant holding it for us, but holding it for all the hopes of the future. And when I speak of Australians, I would like it to be understood that I speak for 7 million Britishers. Thank you very much.
Very soon after the arrival of the delegates, interest was focused on number 10 Downing Street, where the Empire's leaders were to meet. This was the scene in the garden of number 10, where informal talks were held between the Commonwealth Premiers, members of the War Cabinet and service chiefs. Pre-conference discussions in a pleasant, peaceful, Maytime setting. Of the opening of the conference itself, little can be shown, of course. Britain can only guess at the wide expanse of strategies and policies to be covered by it. No one, however, can possibly fail to recognize the advantage certain to result from such a meeting for victory in every theatre of war and for the future that has still to be built.